I'm here with my new friend Patricia and her 3 cats, which we'll show you in a little bit. And today we are doing a full van tour of her minivan.
Oh, my name is Patricia Babin. I'm from New England, born in Massachusetts. And then I left there for about 6 years to live in Maine. That was a part of my dream. I'll be 65 around Thanksgiving, so I'm really coming close to that magical age. And been in the van 2 years. Me and my cats, we've been in the van for 2 years living in it. She is Sapphire, and she's a 2015 Dodge Caravan.
We did an extensive interview recently, and it's already been posted. So if you haven't watched that, go watch that as well, because there's a lot of great information. But today is all about the van tour. So let's get right into it.
Okay. The bed is a simple cot from Walmart. This right there is just a cot. You can see the legs over there. See? And these bins turned out to be amazing. They're the file cabinet bins in Walmart. So you have to find them in the stationery section. But they work perfect with their bed. Nothing else worked as well as this. They give you lids with them, but I got rid of them. And they are chock-a-block full. Similar over here. They're pretty much the same thing. And they fit. They're awesome. I mean, I take advantage of every bit of space you can get. The mattress is from Joann's. It's just a piece of foam they sell. It's 71 inches long, and I put it on a piece of plywood, and then I wrapped it in this for my health issues. I made sure it's in one of these bags. And then this is the thing I did. I don't know how this works, but it does. My old quilt under my sheets was the thing that made this bed work for me. King-size quilts folded in half. Fits the whole bed, and then I put the sheets right over that. It also is the thing that made me warm when I was in Maine. The sheets are just twin size sheets. They're a little big, and this was a gift from one of the parking programs. I have a couple of these.
I know you make jewelry, and you're very creative. Where do you sit to do those things in your van? How do you maneuver that?
It's really hard. I can sit on my toilet for a while, but my body got injured, so I can't sit there long. I have more room to sit here than I do up at that side, and I can sit there a little while. I can sit in the front seat, but you don't have any place to work. I can do it, but it's really difficult to do. Then on a non-windy day, I can set up a table and I can sit out if it's not too hot and things like that, or raining or anything like that. It's a minimum amount of space and availability to that. It's very small. This is all I have for bathroom stuff. It's usually where I keep my toilet paper too. Q-tips and shampoo and things like that all go in there. This is a plastic bureau out of Walmart, but it did cave in here, so you can't even really see it. Most of my clothing is in here. There's a little bit here, and bag I affectionately call my closet. Of course, it makes no sense to call a bag a closet, but they're the things that I would have used in a closet. But there is some things under here too. Behind that, you can almost see it, that are things that I can't wear right now because of the season. It's also things I want to make. There's material there for clothing I want to make. This has the stow and go seats. Every seat except the driver's seat is gone. It's in storage. And this is where I keep a lot of my storage. That's my laundry. And then there's art supplies, extra water in case I don't get my jugs filled. And underneath that, I can't remember what I have under there. I think there's some kitchen things under there. And then over here is the jewelry I'm making. This is my snacks that I got a good deal on, so that's the only reason they're there.
Snacks.
They sort of work for my bread substitute for me because I'm so limited on what I can eat. There's a lot of art supplies in here. It's either jewelry making, painting supplies, things like that. There's a lot of that. And then there's a little bit of a garage over here. There's tools, jumper cables, things like that. My California dust brush, cats, tunnel, a step stool that I probably don't need anymore. I thought I was going to need it getting in and out of the vehicle, but I don't. And a first aid kit. I keep all my shoes under there. That's one of the cat's favorite places to sleep. I had to get on a walker recently, and now it's a fixture in there. And the cats use it like a bunk bed too. I still need it. I just don't need it as much as I did. My stove and then my cooler and all that is there. This thing is awesome. I got it off of Amazon. It goes on the outside of your vehicle. This flaps into the door and the door shuts on it. If you don't let the heat into your car, you don't have to deal with it. So I learned that from Bob Wells. He said, don't let it even get into your car. I have used this every single day for over a year. And this table is sort of working like the back of a seat. So if I push this like this, it just looks like a seat. And it put a lot of pressure off of me to do that. It covers up the table. I still have my table, and the cats sleep here, and people usually laugh when I see them there. It works perfect. This goes on every night too. So I put these on those two windows. These are just, you know, those things that have the rings inside of them, the metal. Well, the metal comes out, or I took it out, I think. And then I put it on here. This actually works. I want to show you this. So what I do lately is I bunch it up right like this. I shut the door almost all I can, and then I just give it a push. Now, mostly that's hidden from somebody looking at your car. They can just see a black window, and nobody can really mess with it a whole lot. Much, you know, you can get fussier, make sure nothing's sticking out. I've done that too. That was the best thing, figuring that out. I do that every night. Then on top of that, I do this. The window will be cracked. Both these windows are cracked about that much. And this can here, as well as that side, it works better when I use a spoon. I actually push a spoon right up inside here. And the wind can still come through. So like this is not blocking the breeze that you can get. And still nobody can really see you. I mean, they can yank it up, but I really never have any issues with anybody doing that. Not only do I get a pretty good amount of insulation, but I get a lot of quiet. Lots of times I don't hear what's going on. Out there. It's falling down, but it's not supposed to. Hi, kitty. I have to get some better tape. I've spent a lot of time trying to hold these in, and I did break my finger this way. So be careful, because they do tend to fall no matter what tape you use, and the really strong tape was really hard to get off the glass. It is the silver reflective material is what I first had. And then in Maine, I needed a lot more. So I went and got myself styrofoam from the Dollar Tree, and I plugged it all over this car. And then pleather or vinyl material I picked up at Walmart. I can't remember. I think it was $10. And then I taped them all together like a sandwich. So now I'm using just black so that the reflective doesn't scream, you're homeless. It's just the less commotion, the better.
Looks like mine.
And then I tape it all up with some good old black tape. And you know, when I was making these, it was hard to measure for me. So I think the foam helped me. I let the foam sort of tell me how big it was, and I just tested it trial and error. They insert pretty well. I try to get just this part right here taped to the window to go down and up. Well, this is my water pump. I don't love my water pump. I didn't want a USB one, so I went with a manual because I don't want another thing to have to charge. I'm already doing all I can with what I have. So I got the 3-gallon jugs out of Walmart, but I really love having these because I go to an organic market and I get their water for 35 cents a gallon, and I know I'm drinking good water. That makes me feel really good. And then you just keep this clean. They give you a little brush to keep this clean. So that's my incoming water. I have 3 of those. So these are the water jugs. These are the extra 2. And if I don't, see how the bungee cord goes hooked onto one and then through the arm of the other. And then if I don't do that, it will fall off this table. The dishes, I get a gallon size usually of apple cider vinegar. And right now I have only plain because that's all I could get. But that's what also gets me out of situations with mold in the car. I love using vinegar. It's so easy. I spray everything. I have little color-coded bottles from Dollar Tree. Blue for water, pink for apple cider vinegar, and green is for alcohol. I get 70% alcohol. It's some things I want to sterilize with some alcohol. That does their dishes, my dishes, everything. Even my fry pan when I'm cooking. If I have to scrape anything off, usually I do that with the spatula. For any reason I'm boiling water, I put that in the fry pan and get everything loosened up very well with that. And then I spray it down with vinegar, and it's always good.
To hear more of Patricia's story and see more interviews and van tours of those living the nomadic lifestyle, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Throw a like on this video and keep watching to the end to see the rest of Patricia's awesome van, Sapphire.
This comes out, and anything else under it comes out. Set the stove up on it with a lot of ventilation everywhere, and cook whatever. It's hard still for me because of my disability issues, but this is my Coleman stove right here. And there's a lot of regular kitchen stuff right there, including those plastic bags. It's all needed for whatever. It's basic stuff. And then the rest of it is in those bins over there. Just going shopping and finding a place to put your food. You don't want it rolling around. I really can't do a lot of cooking, but when I do cook, I love cooking quinoa with vegetables, and if I cook enough of it, it'll get me through the next day or two. Sometimes millet, anything that's just easy, because It involves the three of them too. Like the minute you open food, I actually have to let them smell things to say, this isn't for you. And he'll say, aha, you're wrong there. I'll have a little bite of that. This cooler is brand new to me, and I love this because that is keeping things from getting too warm too fast. But it really should be wrapped. I haven't bought it a new wrap cover yet. That is ice underneath of it. So I don't get a lot of room to put my food in there. But I have an ice block that's been working for at least 2 or 3 days. And that makes, there's ice right under here. That's the cat's meat. They eat that raw. This is everything. It's cat food, even catnip and medicines and spices, and it takes up a lot of room to have a kitchen, you know. You don't know until you don't have one. The toilet situation has finally evolved to where I'm happier with it. I got the old Home Depot bucket. The Lowe's one leaked on me, and I just put a plastic bag in there, and usually something stronger than these, but something. And I use it all night long because I have to. That's my routine right now. What I try to do is every morning I take it into a public bathroom and I keep the paper low through the night. I don't, a lot of it goes in the trash. So in the morning I dump the trash, I dump the bucket, I put soapy water in it, and I wipe it out and clean it. And right now that's how it's sitting right now. It's ready to go for the next night. Get it in the toilet system where it belongs. It's making me happier. This came apart from Walmart, but it's almost better that it did because it kept shutting on me. I couldn't even get on it without it shutting under, so often I'll take it off and leave it off for the night, just for the night.
Do you do liquids and solids?
Yeah. It all goes right into the sewer system. I take the whole bucket in there. I just take it all in there, dump it out, and I make sure I flush it as many times as it needs, and I'm very careful of the toilet system. And that's been working well. And then this thing, I will not drive anywhere without this. Bungee cord it. I have never had a great big accident, but I could have, especially with these little 3 monkeys, because they can jump out. They'll take it right with them. For me, mostly it's been the outdoor showers here in California. The showers are free. They come with the beach locations. There's different ones. They're not all the same. Some of them are in bad shape and some of them are better. I think they're doing some remodeling, but I'm not sure. But they're not private either. So I usually shower in a bathing suit or shorts in a tank or something like that. And I'm good to go. Then I go in a stall, dry off, change, and I'm gone. It doesn't take long, like 10 minutes or something. Some of them will actually have an indoor-outdoor experience for you. Like a ladies' room, you can walk in and there's this great big room with all this long bench on it, and there's one shower. So you have a wall and the sky is above you. Or you can be at a bathroom with a shower completely outside and anybody can see you. So, you have to be discreet. You have to figure out what's going to work for you. That's worked for me. I just keep it low maintenance. I try not to fuss about stuff. You get filthy here. Your car takes quite a bit of dirt, so does your body. And when you wipe yourself with a wipe on your back of here, you can't believe how it just keeps coming off of you. I wipe down every night before I put myself in my clean sheets, especially your feet, because you're rocking around with sandals all day. You don't know what's on them. It's gross. Yeah, I try to do that. And then the hair, I don't have to wash as often as I used to, but it's always cold water. Even in February, I use cold water. Laundromats. It's been really hard for me to do lately with the injury. Super hard. And I think I'm reacting to the laundromat. I have to do a certain way I do my laundry. I try to use something that's non-allergenic, and then I use borax or the Arm & Hammer version of borax and vinegar. All of it, because of mycotoxins. Well, when you're talking about Maine, that was a whole different experience. I'm in California now. But when I was living in Maine, I had that quilt that I have. It's like the first thing is the quilt, and I would put it over my head, but there would be a pocket of air. And then the sleeping bag. And the cats are right in there with me. They're not stupid. This is too cold. It was a 6-degree night. It was really bad. But this van is pretty good, too. I'm keeping a lot. I mean, except, the glass, of course, it isn't. But it has been very good to me in terms of warmth and even sound. It's been good. The other side of it being hot, that's harder, but it seems like I get away with just these 2 doors cracked at night. I keep everything else, those 2 shut and the flaps open, and I have fans going all the time. So that works very well. Most of the time I just rely on as much air from the windows as I can get. And that fan up there helps a lot. There's 2 of them. That one's on my face and that one's coming in that window, and I can turn the fan on my legs, which really helps. It's surprisingly not a strong fan, but it works. Same thing with my face. And then you can flip it up into the ceiling too if you're trying to move all the circulation in the whole van, you know. At night, I only sleep with these 2 windows open and the others are shut. Well, the back flaps are always open. I never shut those, but they're shut right now because I just put it to the car wash. This is a Harbor Freight light. I love these things. Everybody says they love them, and I finally got one. So it goes 3 settings of light. And then over here, I guess that's a bug zapper. See the bug zapper? I didn't even know it. I thought it was a night light. But the thing I love about it, every night I use this. Every single night. When you're on your cell phone and just your cell phone, your eyes really struggle. So this is on in the room now every time I'm using, and I did this just to make it easier for me to deal with it. But it mostly just sits in that cubby hole next to my bed. And then I use my phone up on that. Great. This thing is awesome. I love this thing. Holds my phone. It's just so comfortable for me to be over there. And this extends my bed, by the way, in case you didn't. I forgot to mention that to you. That is the best light I've had yet. The power situation kind of got diminished a little bit because at the beaches you always have wharf rats. And these little critters, I believe, I could smell it. And the cats were pawing at the gas and brake pedals. Apparently it chewed one of my power inverters out. The one that's in the back, that one I use for everything right now. So the cord that I charge my phone with is 10 feet long and it can reach me to the front if I need it to. So if I was on a long trip and I had to charge to be able to use GPS or something like that, it's right there with me. But for the most part, I can charge this phone during the day and I'm good until that night. I'll unplug one of them and charge up my Harbor Freight light. And that's the one that's doing it. It's all on the back. It's through my car. And by the way, a lot of people don't realize this. I didn't. The fuse box in the front, for anybody who has a Dodge, it's a little separate section. This power and one of the front can be on constant or intermittent with the engine. This used to be on just when the engine was on, and I said, why is that? You would put a refrigerator on that. Somebody says, you just have to move the fuse, and they moved it over one step, and now it's on all the time. So I have one in the front that does that too, and then I have one in the front that is just done when the engine's running. It only works at that point. It's a really good thing to know, and you can learn it. There's a chart on your fuse box. You can learn about it, what it is, and that's my only outlet that I use to charge everything. It's a constant on. Well, right now I'm having trouble with the phone issue with data, but yes, I do love a lot of classical music, some of the old rock. The 60s were the best. And I grew up in the 70s, so I still love the 60s. And I also love listening to people that have made their life turn around and how to make money, because I'm really trying to break through poverty issue I'm in. Then sometimes I love watching old sitcoms. I love them. They calm me down. You know, anything that used to work as a kid seems to still work. So like The Ghost of Mrs. Muir. Mary Tyler Moore is one of my very favorites too. I journal and other things, make jewelry. It seemed like this sort of put itself in its place, but there was a time I was thinking of moving the bed over here for various reasons. And even that rug, I went through all that trouble trying to put a floor back in. I thought about it. I'm just putting down a cotton rug, pull it out, give it a good shake. It doesn't let everything go underneath the seatbelt equipment that's there. There's wires, there's big thick wires even coming from the taillights and everything. You don't want to keep messing with that. There used to be a mat that came from there to cover this up because this part never got done when the people were here. So, and actually under this is storage. And sitting under there is my sleeping bag and some winter clothes. That's Home Depot, yeah. I even gave a piece to somebody else to use it. It was quite a lot on there. That's from Maine. It's a very special rock. It's just so pretty. I love.
It's like a memento.
Yeah. That catches everything when you're coming in the door. I need at least a couple pieces of silverware that I can keep grabbing. Anything like that, anything that I need constantly is, actually, I'm going to trim it down. I don't think I need everything that is in there. So I even mail, you go and get your mail. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, it's like a TV tray.
Yeah, it is. It's set up for a computer, but it does tend to wiggle and move. And I think right now I've got it so that it can't. And I had to raise this up because this table, when you put it on the last rung, goes too high. There is no level. It's set up for a computer to sit at a pitch. So that's what I did to make it work. They're on a leash from the moment the door opens in the morning until we shut it at night. They stay on leashes. This one here on the pillow, she's quieter and shyer. Sometimes I put her on a leash that's not attached to anything, depending. She's gotten used to it. She puts up with it. She was out here the other day all on her own, just sitting here looking around. And I got a couple of pictures of her. I was proud of her, actually, because she's scared. And the other two, no, they're social. Thaddeus, come on out. Here he comes. Gee, you're right on cue. Yeah, you're right on cue.
So these are just extra leashes for walking.
Yeah. And she's out cold. And that's Babea. His name came out of my mouth without effort, so I decided to keep it. The harnesses these are good harnesses. They'll replace them anytime for you. And I can give him more room when I need to. And when I give him more room, I give him another leash. I think if I had 2 of those, it might be hard for me to figure out who's wearing what and how to keep it straight.
And these leashes are attached to your back of your driver's seat.
Yes, and they stay there. That's my Indra, and that's Babea on the bed, and this one's Thaddeus. These two were born in Maine, and she was born in Massachusetts. This was something I designed when I was still in Maine, because they would walk over here and open windows. Or they could also come over and lock you out. So, he scared me so bad one day. I was on a very busy road, and he just steps on this thing, and the window goes down, and we're on like a highway practically. And I screamed, and I pulled him to me, you know. So I took a popcorn thing I got at some discount store, and I cut it in half, and I created a tunnel for my hand to go in and handle it's actually tight on this side than it is on that side. So my hand goes in and handles the switches, but they can't step on it. They step on this. This could save you or your animal's life. It could save you from getting locked out of your car, especially if it was hot and the animal's in there. That's pretty bad. So this is what prevents that. This is their carriage. Can't believe I can fit that in there. This is their cat box. So I have to make sure that is always free for them. Apples are good. Sardines get me through. Yeah, that's another thing. You know, protein, keep your protein up. Lately, I figured out I could have imitation crab meat because it's cooked. And if I throw some vegetables around it with a tortilla, something like that, something cassava, something like that, that can get me through a lot. And it's not what I want to eat, but it's what I can eat.
If somebody would like to connect with you or stay on top of your journey, how could they find you?
Well, I am considering doing a YouTube channel, and I am selling jewelry that I make. It's Ancient Healing Light Jewelry. Don't have everything set up, but I will under that name. Hopefully Facebook too. I haven't figured that out yet.
Awesome. And we already went over that. I'll just ask you.
Right on my nose.
Go away, fly.
We're with the flies.
Yeah, the flies.
If you don't feel safe.
Oh no, where's your microphone?
Oh no. I don't know.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Oh, it's right there. And here.
Testing.
Testing.
Now he's got me caught. Okay, in you go. He's gonna be loud for a few minutes. He's got to go over and clank that thing. Whatsoever at all. No, not whatsoever.
Make sure to hit this. You were mentioning you got that nice floor.
Yeah.
When these people leave.
Yeah. I think he needs the cat box.
Okay. Well, it's his time and he needs to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Snack time.